Hey, it's Mike Cruz here. This video actually comes from a group called Did Not Stop President Trump, or not a group, but a page, I believe. And it's a really good, and very interesting video. I encourage you to share it with others. Um, Also, if you're wondering why I've been in my bed for the past couple of videos that I've made, I fractured my collarbone a little bit. It's not like completely snapped or anything like that. So really hurts. I'm in a lot of pain. So I've been on my days off making these videos and just laying it up. I would love to go to the gym. Can't do it. But can't even do a pull-up or anything really. But anyways, check this video out. It's very serious, and if you have a chance, check out that page. It's a really good page. It's got a lot of good information. This video has been removed from Facebook a couple times, and it's because it speaks the truth. It exposes the truth. Now, if you're for your towns turning into this, or your cities turning into this, then go ahead and be angry at Donald Trump. If this is what you want your towns and your cities to look like, then go ahead and be mad at Donald Trump. But if you do not want your towns and cities to look like this, I encourage you to not only share this video, but open your mind to possibly supporting Donald Trump if you haven't already. Trump is not an asshole. He just knows some things that some people don't know. And by the way, fertility rates, like I almost always mention on this topic, fertility rates for Europeans in Europe and Americans in America, which includes minorities, is really low right now. But these immigrants have on average about 8 kids. I know that sounds crazy, but that's the truth. So what does that mean? That means in about 50 years, a lot of these European countries will become Islamic states based on math. And a big part of the United States will become a civil war based on math. If we keep bringing these refugees in, and they have like 8 kids each, and we're bringing fucking hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of them over here, if we do that, you're literally going to cause a civil war in your area. Just look at what happened to Lebanon in the 70s, folks. They brought in refugees, and they got slaughtered for it once the refugees became the majority. That was a Christian nation, Lebanon was. Now it's a center for terrorism. Wake up. Here's the video.
Most people don't even know this. You go into places like Dearborn, Michigan, you don't feel like you're in America anymore.
Right now we're heading towards the east side of Dearborn. You'll see the culture shift where you won't feel that you're in the United States any longer.
How long have you lived in Dearborn?
All my life.
Seriously, what happened to all the American businesses around here?
They come in by the strip mall. They move the previous owners out. They increase the rent dramatically to force.
They force them out.
They force people out.
And then they put similar
businesses.
but with a Arabic tone?
Yes.
You think a lot of people here voted for Obama?
Of course they did.
Yeah? Why? Why do you think they voted for Obama?
The entitlements, all the health care. Some of these guys come in and have up to 4 wives. When they file for the rich cards, the EBT cards, they are bringing the other 3 as extended family members. When we're going grocery shopping, you see these young Arab ladies, girls, with their kids, getting on Range Rovers, using their EBT bridge cards pay for the groceries. I'm actually in the medical equipment business, so sometimes when they come in my office, they're in designer clothes, carrying Prada purses, pulling out their Medicaid cards for their health care. And knowing the addresses and knowing where they live, I don't understand how they're getting welfare assistance, driving $60,000, $70,000 vehicles and living in $250,000, $350,000 homes.
Immigrants from the Middle East represent the fastest growing immigrant demographic in the United States. And over the past 3 years, the Obama administration has taken in more immigrants from the Middle East than Mexico and Central America combined. And it's about to get worse. 7 million Syrians have applied to come here to the United States as refugees. Imagine the strain on the welfare system. Today,
7 million plan. Now, we all know that we're going to try to ban a lot of this, but Canada's going to take a lot of that. Why? Why would you take that burden onto your people? It's actually far cheaper to build safe zones. It makes way more sense to build safe zones in these areas. I mean, it's stupid. And people say, oh, immigrants contribute to our economy. If that, and I'm not saying that there aren't any immigrants out there, legal ones. I'm not saying there's not any legal ones contributing to our society, because that would be racist. That would be a lie. There are immigrants from all walks of life, even some Muslims, that do come here and they assimilate and they do well, but you can't expect to pour millions of them and dump them on us and expect them to assimilate. If you stuck 7 million Americans into the Middle East and just stuck them there because something went wrong here, you can't expect those 7 million Americans to assimilate to Islam, not peacefully. So why are we expecting them to assimilate to American ways of life? It's not going to happen, folks. And when you're dumping them onto the population, you're putting that population at risk. Okay? There are protests going on all over the world saying death to America, death to Europe, and they're waving ISIS flags. And this isn't in the Middle East. This is in the areas where they are being dumped, in Nice, in the UK. I mean, all over the place. We need to wake up. Okay, this is not a race war. This is an ideological war. And they are happy to wage it. You may not be. You may be thinking that you can be peaceful, but all the peaceful Christians in Lebanon in the 70s got murdered. Not all of them, but a significant majority of them were murdered and slaughtered. And now that government is a Muslim government. Wake up.
36% of Americans claim to earn less than $30,000 per year. But in the Muslim community, it's up to 45%. 5 or 6 years ago, was it anything close to where it is right now?
Absolutely not. The population is probably doubled in this area in Dearborn Heights as far as the Middle Eastern population.
Over the last 5 or 6 years?
5 or 6 years. See more radicalization, Arabs moving in.
Excuse me. Like they're coming here, but they don't want to mix in with Americans.
Right, they're not mixing in. Yeah. They're not learning the language.
Reuter Street? Do you know where Reuter Street is? You don't know where Reuter Street is? Thank you.
But they're not really becoming Americanized. In the high school where you have a large Muslim population, they have to serve halal food. The non-Muslim, it's actually 2 menus, one for the non-Muslims and one for the Muslims.
So now, what's the impact on that?
That's an increased cost to the school systems.
You never see American flags?
Never.
Why is it that the Muslim community is not blending in with the rest of American society?
because this is what...
Here, I'm going to let you know something. This Bridget Gabriel woman, look up what she has to say about Lebanon in the 70s. She lived it. She lived that torture. She's seen her friends get murdered and slaughtered in the streets. This woman had to eat grass to survive during that issue. She had to hide like a cockroach to survive and eat grass like a dog, or not like a dog, but like a farm animal. This woman had to eat grass like a farm animal to hide from the radicalization that was going on in the 70s in Lebanon. That is your future, folks. If you don't wake up now, you will be eating grass, whether you support assimilation or whatever, whether you support it or not, that's your future. And if it's not your future, it's your kids' future. Stop being so damn nice to the world and accepting their problems on your backyard. Because one day, just like Trump said, it'll be like that parable where Trump had said, there was a woman who nursed a snake or a serpent back to health, only to be rewarded by a fatal bite. Don't get bit by the snake.
They are being told in mosques across the United States, Dennis. And part of what they're teaching them in the mosque is do not assimilate with the Americans. They are your enemies.
One of the things that bothered me is that as I traveled through one street after the next, and I'm talking about many streets, I did not see homes with an American flag waving outside. Is there any chance we have that Muslims will turn around and start to blend in?
No, there is no chance. We are seeing a reverse, actually, instead of them blending in, instead of assimilation.
If you were to take somebody, like an old neighbor who used to live in Dearborn but moved away, and you were to drop them back into Dearborn, would they know where they were?
Not really. It's completely remade.
All right. So, what do you think the deal with that is?
The flag?
Yeah.
They've been here a long time. That's a statement too.
That flag being a statement?
Yeah.
What is the statement?
That's an American.
Yeah. This is America.
Wake up, folks. We don't have much time. The debate, it's over. There's no debates anymore. It's not hate to point out a threat. It's not hate to point out a problem in another culture. When white people were radical and filled with hate, nobody stopped to hold that in. People were very vocal, and rightfully so, when the KKK was out there hanging people, when the KKK was out there shooting people, dragging people by ropes on their vehicles, when the KKK was blowing up churches. Everybody had the right to question white society. People tried to censor that, but it was only because you were racist that you would censor such brutality or such a threat. Everybody had the right during the civil rights era to fight for equality. This is another one of those type of times. The problem is you just don't see these people dragging anybody by ropes or hanging you or doing this stuff yet. And I say yet because I know from history, and history does repeat itself, that once they become the majority and we become the minority, all hell will break loose. And this isn't theory, this is fact. It happened in Lebanon and countless other countries. Your country will become their country. Whether it's a violent transition or not, one thing that math will tell you, and fertility rates, it's all based on math, it's unbiased, it's not Republican or Democrat, Libertarian, Green Party. None of that. Math is math, folks. Either you know it or you don't. Either you're going to pull out that calculator or you won't. Either you're going to look at fertility rates and why a fertility rate for a culture is important, or you won't. Sometimes the truth doesn't feel good. Sometimes it just downright hurts. But we don't have time for feelings. If you're a liberal out there, your children are going to have to face this problem, whether you like it or not. And if your future generations get slaughtered or murdered or forced into Islam or Sharia law, it's on you. It's on you. And history will look back and say, people will say, looking back on history, why did we do this? Why didn't we fight for something better? Why didn't we block this somehow? Why didn't we only accept people that would assimilate? And you know what the question, or the answer to that question is going to be as to why we didn't do it? It's because you followed the media. It's because you followed the Clinton News Network and the Obama era and the Obama agenda. And you rejected Trump. You called him a racist. You called him a bigot. You called him all of these names because you got the wrong facts from the wrong sources. I'm going to leave you with that. Take it or leave it. I don't need your agreeance to be right, as I simply am, and that's good enough for me, sadly. And as always, we are the media now.